story time. This one's kind of a long story, so if you don't want to hang out, no big deal. I still love you. I'll catch you on the next one. So, two things. One, today at work, somebody said, "Hey, no offense, but has anyone ever told you that you look like Ned Flanders?" And I don't know how to feel about that. But regardless, so I have a home address, which is a service that is provided by the United States Postal Service that gives you a street address to have things delivered to your PO box. So like Amazon, FedEx, and UPS can deliver to a street address, and then the post office then in turn delivers it to you through your PO box. Middle of September, I ordered something from a company. I ordered something. It was delivered, according to UPS, on September 20th, which is a Friday. And I figured the next day I'll go pick it up. And so when you have a package delivered by anybody other than the United States Postal Service, you can't get it until the next day. That's just one of their rules. I guess they have to sort them, or I don't know what they do. But it's delivered Friday, and I figure, I'll pick it up Saturday. So I go to the post office on Saturday, and there's no slip in my box that says, "Hey, we have a package for you." And I was like, okay, well, maybe just the weekend guys are being lazy. I don't know. No big deal. So I go back Monday. There's still no slip in the box on Monday. So I go up to the counter. I talk to the lady, and I show her my tracking info. It says it was delivered, dropped off here, signed by this person. And she's like, "Listen, if you don't have a slip, we don't have it." And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And she's like, "Oh, you have to make a claim for it." And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll make a claim. So I got in touch with the company that I ordered it from, and they're like, "Oh, you don't make the claim with us. You make the claim with the shipper, which is UPS." And I was like, okay. So I make a claim with UPS. I give them all my information, tell them what happened. The next day they get back to me. They say, "Hey, we've done some research, and yes, your package is lost." Even though it says it was delivered, even though they says it's delivered by, or they show where it's delivered and who signed it, they're like, "Yeah, we looked into it, it's lost." And I'm like, okay. And I was like, "So what do we do?" And they said, "Oh, we're gonna mark it as lost, and and then refund the money." And I was like, okay, great. Well, they don't say who they're refunding the money to. They just say, "We're gonna refund the money." So it takes a couple days for that to happen. And finally I get an email from UPS that says the claim is closed, it's been paid out. And I was like, well, that's weird. How did it get paid out? They didn't even ask me for my information. How do I get paid? Well, after doing some research, I found out that they're not paying me. They're paying the company that I originally bought it from. And I was like, okay, so then I have to go back to the company, and I said, "Hey, UPS said that they've already paid this out and the claim is closed. So do I get my money back, or what happens? Like, do you just reissue the exact same thing that I ordered, or like, how does this work?" And they're like, "Oh, we need an actual address first." And I was like, "Yeah, it's because they didn't like my pretend address." So I was like, "Well, I'll give you my PO box. That's the only other one I have is my PO box." And they're like, "Yes, please give us your PO box," because some freaking companies put right in there, we do not deliver to PO boxes. So whatever. Anyways, I give my PO box, and I wait for them to get back to me, and finally they get back to me, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna have somebody else reach out to you about getting your order replaced." And I was like, okay. So, and that was yesterday. So that was yesterday, the 22nd of October, from September 20th. So it's been over a month that this whole thing's been going on, right? It's been a month. So I got my wife a present. Don't tell her. Please don't tell her. But I got my wife a present, and I had to go pick it up from the post office today. And so I went to I go to the post office, right? It's supposed to be one thing. One thing. I go to the post office. I hand the lady my slip. And I go, "Hey, I got one package," and I tell her my name, and she's like, "Okay, I'll be right back." And so she goes into the back, and she comes out with two boxes, and I'm like, okay, I only ordered one thing, but okay. So she comes out with two boxes, and I tell her my name. I said, "It's for me, right?" She goes, "Yeah," and she scans it, gives it across the counter. And I'm like, okay. So I so I take these two boxes out to my car, and one of them is the thing that I got for my wife, and then the other one is the friggin' box that I ordered a month ago. And it's funny because when they get the box, they write the date on it. They write the date that it was delivered. And so this box right here says 9/21 on it. 9/21. That's Saturday. So that means the Saturday that I friggin' went to the post office to get my box, they had it. But for a month, it was just hiding somewhere at the post office. But I got my box a month later. But now what do I do? It's a moral conundrum because I've already technically been refunded the money, but they are also reshipping out my stuff. So do I intervene and say, "Hey, just kidding, I found my box," or do I take the freebies? What do I do?